Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are ranking my least favourite skincare brands. A lot of you are probably thinking, how do you rank a brand that you just dislike? Surely you just dislike it. But I actually think there's quite a bit of nuance within that. So I'm going to be bringing out the old TierMaker. You guys know I cannot resist using TierMaker. So much fun, and it helps you kind of categorise the things that you're judging. So we're going to break my least favourite brands down into three categories. The ones that work for some. These are the products which maybe I don't like, but actually I could see them being of benefit to some other people. Then we're going to have the no hard feelings. These are the brands which I just think, I don't like. Maybe they've got a checkered past. Maybe they're just not the products that I would reach for, but I've no personal hard feelings against the brand itself. And then we have the who. This is a category for those that we just need to forget about. Keep on walking, nothing to see here. We just need to forget about them completely. Hopefully you'll share your thoughts or feelings below on any of these brands and any others that you'd like to slot into any of these categories. Just leave me a comment below. While you're at it, why not join us over in our new Facebook group where we talk all things skincare. I've left a link in the description box below, and it's actually Mad About Skincare. So search that on Facebook and join the conversation. So without further ado, cut the waffle and get on into it. Now, first of all, let's talk Garnier. I was fully prepared to start throwing around the shade as soon as we mentioned Garnier. They've not been a brand that I've ever been a huge fan of. They weren't cruelty-free. They were owned by the L'Oreal group. I didn't think any of their products actually stood out and were that great. So they've never been one that's I've gravitated towards. I was going to put them in the no hard feelings category because whilst, they've never done anything against me, I don't think any of their products are that worthy of hype or inclusion in your skincare routine. However, we had a really big development where a couple of days ago, they announced that they were Leaping Bunny certified. What that means is they are now entirely cruelty-free and certified as being so. They achieved this by withdrawing their products from sale from mainland China, which, as we know, mandates animal testing. So now none of their products are tested on animals. Yes, they're still owned by L'Oreal, which a few people will have issue with, but I'm actually not including them on this list because I'm going to turn around and give them a second chance. I'm going to take a second look at their products and work out whether any of them are worth including in your skincare routine in a separate video. I didn't want to be too shady towards them because actually they're accessible in most markets. They have a super drugstore and affordable price point, and I think we have to bear that in mind when we're talking about brands. Yes, they might not be the best products in the world, but they are accessible and they're affordable, and they're bringing skincare to people that might not be able to afford some of the other brands that we know and love on this channel. So I'm giving them a full reprieve. They're not going on this list, and I'm going to do a full rundown of my thoughts and feelings on Garnier in a future video. So leave me a comment below if there's any of their products that you really love and think I should reach out and try. Share your thoughts and feelings below because that'll feed into the future video I'm creating. Now, moving on from one brand that I actually think is worthy of a second chance and I'll be taking a second look at and could really reprieve themselves and move themselves firmly off this list, to two that have had more than enough chances and have failed at every opportunity. The first one is Drunk Elephant. Now, a lot of people remember Drunk Elephant, and they're going firmly in the who, seal their own fate, keep moving, nothing to see here category. A lot of people remember them because they had their scandal where when they were first founded, when anyone called them out saying, actually, I don't really like the products, maybe they're not working for me, maybe I think they're overpriced, all value criticism, the social media team and the owner herself came hard for those people. They abused people, they trolled people, they attacked people online, all the things you just don't do as a business. Since then, I don't hear any influencers talk about them. It's not something that you guys ever share, your recommendations of. I don't think many people are buying and reaching out for Drunk Elephant. Their price point is sky high for what they're offering. The products are actually not that bad. The products that I've used are really, really okay. I just don't think they're justifying the price that they're charging for them. It is bougie, it is luxury, and then they go and troll and assault you online if you dare to suggest otherwise. No, not a huge fan, and they're definitely going in the who category. I think they're just going to slowly fade into the distance, and we won't be talking about them in a year or two's time. For the same reasons, Keep Cool and Soothe. Now, you guys knew this was coming. Anyone that's watched this channel before knows this was coming, and I covered this in a whole video. I'm going to leave a link to that bit up there. So, okay, they intimidated, they threatened, they advertised a product as being an SPF that it wasn't, doubled down hard, and then kind of didn't really say anything when it turned out that most people's skepticism about it was true and founded. They came out with an apology. I was going to give them a second chance. Then they came out with an apology, which was a bit like, I'm really sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry that you chose to be offended. That sort of passive-aggressive kind of apology. And they sort of badged it with a new launch. Who does that? Who launches a new product and then thinks, oh, better do an apology at the end, just in case anyone's still feeling a bit sore about it? and I'm sorry that you feel that way. Like, no. So I think whilst they didn't have that many products to start with, and one of them failed, and then they kind of really just did nothing to address that, I just think it's a firm pass for me. They're going in the who category. I actually think they'll disappear a lot quicker than Drunk Elephant, because whatever they come out in the future, and they are coming out with a new SPF this year, I just don't think anyone's going to be interested in buying it. We're going to still be tarnished with that reputation. I just don't think anyone's going to be buying it. Now we're moving on to a brand which most people probably expect me to put in the who category, but actually I'm going to be a little bit more sympathetic to it than a lot of YouTubers would. That's St Ives. Now here on YouTube, you don't hear any influencers, content creators, or skincare people ever talking about St Ives in a positive way. They always go back to that apricot scrub, which anybody who has ever had acne in their teens reached for the St Ives apricot scrub, and we scrubbed, and it was so bad for your skin. Yes, they're still peddling that product. Yes, it's still available, and I would definitely recommend people keep away from it. You don't need that level of abrasion on your skin, and it doesn't really achieve what you want it to in the long run. However, as a brand, they do have some really good products. Their body moisturizers are stunning. So well formulated. They've got like oatmeal in there. One's got rice bran in. It's going to be calming, soothing inflammation, super hydrating, and really affordable drugstore prices. So I always say to people that when they say, oh, what would you recommend as like a body moisturizer that I can lather on, isn't too expensive, and I can lather on, and I always go and say St Ives, and people are like, really you go that you want St Ives? Yeah, I think actually their body products are stunning. However, they're still one of my least favourite brands because they do insist on peddling as like their core offering, the apricot scrub. They even launched like a bar in New York before all the restrictions came in. They had like a bar where influencers and celebrities could go and show, take pictures of them using a scrub of their choice. They brought out new versions of it, one for like acne control with salicylic acid in, one for sensitive skin. How that works, I do not know, because anyone with sensitive skin, leave me a comment below. If you've got sensitive skin, would you go anywhere near your face with the apricot scrub? I just don't see why they're still peddling those products when they've got some really great ones. They've got a great ceramide body butter. They've got a really good one that's going to boost collagen. It's so good. I'll leave a link to some of their products below because you might want to check them out. So I'm actually going to put this in the no hard feelings category. I actually really like them. I understand why people don't want to gravitate towards this brand because they do have that reputation of promoting I'd say they're really their worst product out there. However, for everyone else, I actually think it could work on the body, and I would definitely recommend you check out their body products if you want a drugstore and affordable option. Now, one brand which is going in the same category as No Hard Feelings is Glamglow. So I've talked about these in the past. I think I did a review on it, which I'll leave a link to up there. I'll fish that video out and leave a link. I've never been impressed with Glamglow. So expensive for what they deliver. They were all the rage. Do you remember when all the celebrities were painting on those glittery mud masks and then peeling them back with great satisfaction? And they'd be doing it on Instagram, YouTube. They were huge. They kind of had their moment, and now you don't really hear people talk about them. They're not a brand which I particularly ever gravitated towards. I did a trial because you guys wanted me to try it out, and I did. And they associated themselves with some influencers and content creators here on YouTube that turned out to be a little bit problematic. I think Jeffree Star was like their number one promoter, and they went hard for advertising him associated with the brand. Obviously he's had scandal on scandal on scandal, and I think that's tarnished the brand as well. I never particularly liked them because they contained glitter, which I thought was too abrasive on the skin. I don't think you need it. It's also a microplastic that washes into our oceans, so it wasn't environmentally friendly, and I don't like those peel off masks. They never really did anything for the skin. However, the reason they're going in the no hard feelings rather than the who keep on walking is because they have listened to consumer feedback. So now all the glitter in their products is 100% biodegradable. So that's a huge tick in the box. I do applaud them for changing their approach to that. They've also done some other non-peel off masks, and they've adapted it to include some active ingredients that are actually going to add benefit to the skin. So whilst I still don't think they're worth the price point, and I still do not like them as a brand, they have evolved and they've listened to consumer feedback, which is why they're in the no hard feelings rather than in the let's forget about them and move on. I think their days are limited. I think they've maybe attached and associated themselves with the wrong people that just keep having scandal after scandal, which is damaging their reputation as well. And I think we're kind of over that overpriced, glittery Instagram mask phase that we all went through. So they probably will fade, but I'm willing to give them a second look because I think they're listening to consumer feedback. Now we're coming on to a brand which you guys are all expecting for me to put in the who ? And read to absolute filth. but I'm not. That is Cerave. You all know, I'm not going to labour the point. You know I'm not a fan of Cerave. They are definitely one of my least favourite skincare brands. I don't get the hype. They test on animals. They don't add anything exciting to your routine, and they're ruinously expensive here in the UK compared to the US. They sting the UK consumer on the price point. However, I'm going to put them in the works for some category. I did a video covering why I'm not a huge fan of Cerave, but trying to give them a second chance and working out whether any of their products would work for me. I'm going to leave a link to that. In the spirit of second chances, I want to give them a second look. And their products weren't as bad as I remember them being first time round. They've taken parabens out of a lot of their products, they've changed some of the formulations, and they weren't as bad as I remember them. I think reading the comments on that video, I think what it taught me is Cerave is a brand which is very much for dry skinned people. It is advertised as safe for acne, but I just found all of their products clogged my pores and broke me out. I think if they switch their marketing to be suitable for people with dry skin, I think there's so much benefit. If you've got dry or sensitive skin, I think it could really, really work for you. It's just for me being acne prone, oily, it was just a firm pass. And so I think maybe the marketing, and it might not just be Cerave, but I think people, influencers that like the market is suitable for everyone. And I really don't think most of their products work very well with people with oily or acne prone skin. So I'm putting it in the works for some people. I actually had a little bit of a conversation with Tina, who's a great subscriber here on Mad About Skin, over on our Facebook group that I mentioned earlier, where she just bought the cream to foam cleanser and was saying how amazing it was. And I said, actually, of all their products, I think that probably is one of the best, and it's one of their newest ones. So maybe they are trying to make things a bit more exciting. Maybe they are trying to mix it up. I still won't use their products or endorse them. I don't particularly like them as a brand, but I always say use what works for you. If you're a fan of Cerave and it works for you, keep on using it if it's worked right for your skin. So I'm going to put it in the works for some, even though it's still one of my least favourite brands out there. Now we're coming on to the final two, and both of them are going in the who category because, we have some doozies. First of all, it's going to be Mario Badescu. This was one of the first brands I actually reviewed on this channel, and was I underwhelmed. Not only are their products absolute rot, packed full of fragrance, colorants, sensitizing agents, fruit extract, all the things that are just going to create sensitivity in the skin and deliver zero benefit. I don't understand the appeal. I know it looks quite glamorous with all the colors, but that's just all artificial colorants which are gonna potentially cause irritation in the skin. Didn't like that. What I really dislike is the whole issue around putting steroids in their products, which were one of the few things in their products that actually delivered a benefit, but totally illegally, because most of them were not allowed in cosmetics outside of a prescription. They also failed to disclose them on the ingredients. This is like one of the worst things you can do to your consumer base. Put potentially harmful ingredients in a product without disclosing at concentrations that should be prescription only and not put them on the ingredients list. Like, who thought in that company that was acceptable? They got found out, they got sued, there was a class action lawsuit, they paid up, but they never apologised. They just slowly took the steroids out of the product, didn't really let anyone know. People got steroid withdrawal. This is how bad it was. Consumers actually got steroid withdrawal in their skin because they didn't realise that the formulations had changed. They never said sorry, and I'm just like, no, not even gonna look. So this as a brand isn't gonna die anytime soon. I'm sorry, people. Everyone seems to love it. You see it here on YouTube. People go hard for them. We just need to get the message out there. This is a toxic, horrible brand that nobody should go anywhere near. Now we're coming on to my final one, which is Goop. Now, Goop, I'm putting in the who category. I've downgraded it recently. They would have been in the works for some. I've always said that some of their products, like their exfoliating pads, are actually really good. This is Gwyneth Paltrow's celebrity brand. I said that most of their products were actually quite good. They were just so expensive. You get 10 resurfacing pads for $150. Mind blown. Too expensive, but not that bad in terms of the benefit you can get from them, and people do really like them. Obviously, old Gwyneth's got a cult following. I don't personally get it, but she has her fans, and I was going to put them in the works for some. If it fits with your budget and you like Gwyneth Paltrow and you want to buy in the Goop ethos, that was okay, but I'm putting it firmly in the who, and the reason for that is recently the whole brand has come out with some solutions to the global health issue that's going on at the moment. And it's all about steaming and herbal this and herbal that. And I'm like, no. I don't like that sort of peddling stuff that isn't scientifically backed up. I think it's absolutely fine to believe in herbal remedies and herbal medicine. I actually think there's a lot of interesting things that are going to come out of that field. I'm not against it in any stretch. But when you post these things as equal to other scientifically proven alternatives, it just was not a load of mess. Gwyneth was red to filth for this, and rightly so, because you can't peddle your pseudoscience without backing it up, especially when there's so much going on in the world at the moment and so much potential for misinformation. So I'm actually putting her firmly in the no, who, keep on moving. Hopefully this is a brand which will, just, fade off into the distance, because their products were never bad, but that price point was ridiculous. Like, Gwyneth, what were you thinking, charging people that much money and then peddling the other things around it? It just doesn't sit too comfortably with me, and which is why I think it's going to firmly go in that category. So there you have it, guys, a rundown of my least favourite skincare brands. Hopefully you can kind of see from that there is different levels within brands that I don't like. I actually think, I'm all about use what works for your skin. So if you want to continue to reach for the likes of Cerave and St Ives and Garnier, let's see what they come out with when I do another test on them. I think it's absolutely fine. It's personal preference, and you have to match that with your own purchasing decisions, ethics, and what your skin type is and how these work. There are some that I just think, because of everything going on, they're just not worth a second look. Keep Cool, Drunk Elephant, Mario Badescu, Goop, you can keep on walking. But the others, we might actually want to evolve our position on them over time. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on any of the ones I've mentioned here. Would you change the order around? Would you remove any completely? Sound off in the comments below. This isn't meant to shade any of these brands. Obviously, I have my thoughts and feelings on them. I don't want to throw any shade or disrespect to these brands, with the exception of Mario Badescu, that I don't think deserves anything but shade. But the others, I do think these things can be evolving positions. This is just my thoughts and feelings on it. If you enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll click that like button, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.